Well, we can ask him now. Joining me is the chairman of Forbes Media and the author of Flat Tax Revolution, about which we're going to speak more at the end. Steve, welcome to the show. Good to see you. Thanks very much.
Good to see you, David. Thank you.
So is it a good thing if Americans are earning less?
No, and that's the whole perversion about the Federal Reserve and monetary policy today. And I hope the Republicans, now they get the speakership out of the way, which I think they will in a few hours, can have a subcommittee or a special committee to focus on the way the Fed looks at the economy. They think making people poor is how you fight inflation. The way you do it is by stabilizing the value of the dollar, which we've done in the past. So this is not revolutionary.
Yeah.
But in the 1970s, they continuously had recessions. Prices came down because people couldn't spend as much.
Right.
Then after the recession, they went back to undermining the dollar, and we're back in the soup again. So the fact that the markets think it's good when the news is bad shows you how utterly perverse prevailing economic theory is today.
Well, from the Congress's perspective, and the Fed's, by the way, it's almost as though we're better off when everybody's poor. I mean, that's the thinking down in Cuba. I mean, the idea of a socialist economy is where when everybody's poor, at least they're all equal. And it looks like that's the direction in which they want to go here.
There is that, yes, they're all equal except those in power.
Right. The 2% live like kings.
Yes, and there's no movement, no ability to get ahead. So on the Federal Reserve side, in that jobs report today, number of hours worked, down. Temporary jobs, down, which is a sign in the business cycle that things are not going very well. So it was not overall a very, very positive report. A lot of hiring was done because you couldn't get anyone before. But if your sales are starting to go down, margins are starting to get tight, you have to pay more to borrow inventory, not good.
Now put it up on the screen again, because the markets just went like gangbusters today, and I don't blame what the markets do. They're neutral in this debate. They follow the money, and they realize if interest rates come down as a result of the bad wage numbers, that means more money for them, bigger profits, et cetera, in the short run. In the long run, though, aren't we all worse off? Not only Main Street, but also Wall Street.
Yes, we're all worse off because they're just going to go back to, that's like going on a diet. You lose the weight and then you binge again. So binging on the dollar, not a good thing. Printing too much money, debasing the value of the dollar. And that's what the Fed has done repeatedly. The government fuels that by spending a lot of money. How do you finance it? You float bonds. Who buys the bonds? The Federal Reserve. We all know where that leads.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is they haven't learned what the real disease is. And they're using the old medical equipment of bleeding the patient to cure the patient.
Bingo, bingo. It's like when they brought out the leeches. They would bleed you that way. Well, you know,
call it leech economics.
The amazing thing is that the administration and Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, are almost bragging about a slowdown of the economy. In July, when they showed that we actually had a negative GDP number, she said overall, with a slowdown in private demand, this report, the one that showed a negative number, indicates an economy that is transitioning to a more steady, sustainable growth, as though that kind of slow growth is a good thing.
It's the whole idea that they think the economy is a machine and should purr at a certain slow speed. So it doesn't get too hot, doesn't get too cold. So when the economy does well, they talk about the economy overheating.
Right.
Let me ask any person, normal person, if your wages are going up, your salary is going up, do you start sweating at night? Do you start feeling you're overheating? Take the money away, I'm overheating. It's absolutely preposterous, and that's where the Republicans do long-term good, and starting to examine harshly the foundations of economic and monetary policy today. It is absolutely. This is a family channel, so I'll stop there.
We stopped you just in time. You heard the congressman-elect that we just had on. He used to work with Art Laffer, so he understands exactly what you're saying. He's satisfied enough with the rule changes that McCarthy agreed to that he switched his vote against McCarthy. Are you encouraged by what happened today inside the Beltway?
Well, I'm encouraged about the rule, not about one congressperson can force a election on another speaker. But I am encouraged they're finally going to take seriously obeying the law on the budget, having 12 appropriations bills, having witnesses come in, actually examine what's being spent and what results we get. And so that's a good thing. And I think that's going to be a message to the Senate. This garbage of doing everything at year end where you slip in pieces of legislation that have nothing to do with spending. You slip it in that way, and now God knows what else they slip in.
Yeah.
Will spend years. Archaeologists will still be discovering it 1,000 years from now if they buried in this thing. But so that's good. But what I'm not encouraged about is they don't fully grasp the need for what they call dynamic scoring,
right,
where when you make tax changes, where now they usually say that's a negative. No, it's a positive if you're cutting tax rates. The Republicans didn't do that when they took control back in the 1990s. They haven't done it since. When they got to make a fundamental overhaul, and I'm not sure the caucus, the Republican caucus, understands that again.
Dynamic scoring means that there is an effect on the economy if you lower tax rates. Lowering tax rates may make it better off in the short term for companies and so forth, but in the long term, the government can actually end up with more money as a result of economic activity in the country.
Well, when you have a more booming economy, there's more wealth to go around.
And that happened after the Trump tax cuts. It happened after the Reagan tax cuts.
Every time of 3,000 years of history. So talk about the need for remedial education of these people.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm not sure the Republicans are still on the page. Otherwise, they're going to get rolled on a balanced budget, which will mean higher taxes.
Yeah.
That's where they always go on
They're
that.
giving me a rap, but I have to ask something near and dear to your heart about flat tax. We had all these revelations about tax cut or tax deductions by Donald Trump. There's also a lot of talk about what happened with the Biden family in terms of their taking deductions. They skipped off on $500,000 worth of taxes. Doesn't that lead you logically to a flat tax? Get rid of all deductions and just have a flat tax for everybody.
Yeah, generous exemptions for adults and for children, and that's it. And I'm surprised that no Republican presidential candidate has made that a forefront issue. A couple of them, like Rand Paul, put it on their platform, but you got to lead with it. And the 90% of the American people would say that's good. In the last 20 years, we've spent over $2 trillion conforming with the tax code. Imagine what that $2 trillion could have done to better everyone's life. So it's a huge waste of brain power. It is a moral issue, not an economic issue. And I wish they'd pick it up.
Instead of supersizing the IRS, we could be downsizing the IRS or just turn it into a collection agency.
And the IRS, those agents could be doing something useful, like being Uber drivers. I don't know.
Steve Forbes, great to see you.
Good to be with you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Well,